Yay, it says you're live. Hello, hello. I don't know if anyone's going to end up on the stream, but it was about time. I haven't been on in a while. Okay, so let me just put on, if you guys want to leave a donation. I don't know. CashApp. Empress. I don't know. Is that my? Let me check. So this is an interesting topic. Don't allow. That's, I'm gonna, that sounds a little extra. Perfect. That, and then I'm just gonna put in the comments for anybody who sees this, the because this is actually part of my course, an aspect of my course. We discuss this. So we're gonna go through the multidimensional nature of reality. So I'll just put this page because it makes it easy for now. And so that's just some stuff that we're gonna get into right now. It'll be fun. You know, my kind of fun. I'll just pin this one. Okay, that's cool. All right, I'm done. I'm done with the beginning. Now I can actually start talking. All right, so being that I've been, what made me start to think about this is probably a good way to start. What made me start to think about this, thank you. What made me start to think about this was the fact that pictures from, right, like I've read books from the 70s, some earlier, some it was like a miracle that I found, especially some really old Rudolf Steiner books. I've and I have one that's like not even a book, it's a booklet. That shit is rare. And I got it for like $2. So there's that. And then, you know, listening to Dr. Delbert Blair, listening to Bobby Hemmett, listening to other I learn from wherever the information comes from. I don't really judge the source. If I resonate with it, I go, okay, that's valuable. I can fuck with that. Let me put that in. And then I go over whatever I learn or whenever somebody communicates a new idea with me, I'll know if it's some real shit because it usually will resonate with my soul. But if it feels kind of like, I'm not really sure about this, I won't mess with the information. I'll just be like, you know what? I'm not fucking with this. Or I need to do a little more research because I want to understand it more comprehensively. And I think that a lot of us don't do the work enough justice by actually doing the work. You know, we don't give it enough. We really got to do that more. So today, well, this week, I've heard from all these different teachers, all these different sources, friends, clients. Everybody's in a different space as far as dimensions. So, and thank you, Dante. So this is why I had to begin to question, like, what are dimensions really? Because we're taught about that dimensions are what height, width, and length, but that's purely matter. And I think anybody at this point, the deeper and deeper you get into reality, the more that you begin to realize that everything is frequency and vibration. It had to come from a tone of some sort in order to even manifest into a form. You know, you take the formless and then it needs a tone, a vibration to manifest into a form. So we're taught that we're living in the third dimension, but it's actually the base level of this is the fourth dimension. would be my perspective, because the third dimension is still not, there's no form yet. And even from zero, the void, zero source, up, we are dealing with different aspects of reality that then build themselves on top of themselves. So like the number 2 is a different vibration, but still very similar to the number 11. Or you can even take the number 1 and the number 11, which is 2. So 1 and 2 might have a little bit to do with the number 11. So when you begin to look at it that way, and then the thing is that numbers are infinite, which would mean that dimensions are infinite, which would mean like, okay, well, if this thing is going to go on forever, then there's no point in trying to get to a higher and higher and higher dimension, because it goes on forever. It's useless in that sense. It's better just to go, okay, well, if these numbers can go on forever, that means that there's infinite possibilities for creations and manifestations and realities, which is why people will go into concepts such as the multiverse, because numbers are so infinite. And once you understand numbers more intimately and understand the vibration they carry, what would have caused someone to notice something in their reality that created this number? What were they so attuned to that made them really think twice about a particular number? So that's something that just made me start to wonder, well, everybody, and people are dealing with different frequency and vibrations at different times. So because people are dealing with different frequency and vibrations at different times, somebody says, I'm in the 4th dimension, and somebody else is like, I'm in the 7th. And you're like, I'm in the 11th or whatever. And the thing is all you're saying is, I'm dealing with a different overarching frequency right now. Because it's not linear. Planes are not linear. So it's not like one is built on top of the other. There are lighter, like air currents. There's lighter currents that would go to the top, and then there's heavier currents that would sink to the bottom. Like a storm, typically the cold air will sink and the warmer air will rise. So if you begin to look at it that way, then this concept begins to make a lot more sense. And I'm going to get into the numbers in a sec, but I really wanted to just lay a foundation for what's really going on here as far as frequency and vibration and our actual, like, what dimensional reality are we actually living in. So from what, all right, so we're gonna go through, because I do this. That's why I put the see, I went to the no space. I went to the void just now. I put the pre-registration page for the for my master class there, because this is one aspect that we explore. All this stuff improves your powers of manifestation. Like, we were never taught how to manifest, which is why we get frustrated and we end up living in a hell on earth instead of a heaven on earth, because nobody actually taught you how to manifest. Nobody taught you that going into survival mode and being like, oh, what do I do? Oh, whatever, like that, and fucking freaking out actually doesn't work, and will not. It'll push something through, but it won't actually be what you want. Plus, nobody teaches you of the true nature of your soul, and the true nature of your soul is very calm. Is very in control. Is very serene. Is my camera like crooked? Oh, no wonder. I was wondering why it was like that today. So yeah, this is basically what's going on. So this is a quote I got from Rudolf Steiner. Feeling never comes about in space, but only in plane. Thus, the world of feeling is in reality spread out, not three-dimensionally, but two. So he's talking about something else, but it doesn't have to do with physical manifestation. And I'll explain that in a second. Man experiences it only in, well, it does, but it's a different dimension. It's actually before you actually push a manifestation out into the world. Manifestations, or when you create your reality, is kind of like a birth. So it really goes through the same mechanism, but in just a different way. A man experiences it only in the plane, which as a plane of section would divide him into two symmetrical halves. And this was the multidimensional nature of reality. This is from a lecture from Rudolf Steiner, which is he's one of my faves. Okay, so everybody comes from the 0 point. And the 0 is source. It's the void. Go look up the video I made called Let the Sages Sleep. It's like spoken word. It's fire. It shakes those lower vibrations out. Like, that's because I can chant like those attachments off of people now, which I didn't know I could do till I did it. And then I was like, oh shit, I can chant fucking demons off people like fucking Jesus in this bitch. So the void is the 0 point. So it's all possibilities, a fresh start, complete alignment in the flow. So when an athlete, which is a good example, is in the flow state, they're actually in the void. And Abraham Hicks always talks about the vortex. And when you are in the flow state, you're actually in your vortex. That's the 0 point, the void. Nobody ever goes and like connects the dots with these things though. Like we think it's some mystical fucking thing, and it's a fucking number that you use every day. And a number is a symbol or a sigil that's representing an energy. Symbols, numbers make more sense sometimes because it's a symbol or a sigil, and the subconscious mind works very well with symbols or sigils. So yeah. So that's really where we're going to start. And that's where we start. We start from the void. Now one is, and 0 is feminine. 1 is masculine, and they always go, it's basically the even numbers are feminine, the odd numbers are masculine. So, and then some of them have both vibrations in them, like I believe like 6. So beginnings of manifestation, the thought, the individual, I exist, the self, pushing out, the beginning of the birth. So a 1 wouldn't exactly be, you don't go from the void 0 to 1. There's actually a process. And before there is an utterance, there is a thought. And it's just the way that you might plan a vacation or plan to go to the grocery store. You know what I'm saying? Like, your reality, you already operate naturally the way that your earthly reality operates. It's so apparent that this is you, but that you were just not aware that this is you. You work the same way. Like, it's I don't know. When you start to get into it, it gets crazy to me. So 1 is the thought. 1 would be a thought or an idea, right? 2 is sort of, if I was dealing with the tarot, I would say that would be like a princess card. 2. So, and then that's feminine, but it represents harmony or balance. It's 2 pillars, contrasting energy, the mirror, and duality. So it's a new perspective. So we start with self, 1. See how it's multidimensional? You can even take it that way. We start with the self, the 1, right? In my poem, I said the 1 sits at our feet because we're not ones, we're the void. My soul family's the void. We not ones. We're zeros. We're zeros. That's what makes us heroes. So harmony, balance, um, and duality. So it's learning harmony and balance. Now your body has two halves. You have two eyes. You have two hands. Your body is one of. You have two nostrils. Your body is one. You have one tongue though. That's interesting. And you have two ears. Um, your body is one of opposites. So, and even when you fall in love, really the reason why you're falling in love is because you needed a mirror so that you could understand who you were. So you needed to understand the love that was already within you. So you and the other person sort of reflect back to one another, the love that is inside of you. And sometimes your love changes, or what you love changes, or an aspect of yourself changes. So that's why it's kind of important to find a partner that's more multidimensional, and it's not like, based on one thing or whatever. You want more of like a soul connection. Um, Even if, like, it have to be the whole soulmate thing, the whole finding the one thing, but just someone that is on your level is good enough. It doesn't have to be all this. It's hard enough to find someone that's just on the same page as you emotionally, spiritually, and stuff like that. So let's not stress ourselves out here. So yeah, that's the two vibration. And the two, if the one is the thought, the two would be the vibration or frequency. Is actually not even the word yet. You don't even get the word yet. It's kind of like a rumble to the word. So you got the thought, and then you're kind of like humming, frequency or vibration, or sort of like that in between the word and the thought. You sort of have a frequency and vibration, because even the more energy you put into a thought, it begins to become something. It has to manifest in some way. So then 3. Now we think we're in the third dimension because we've been lied to, and because we were told that we were in physical matter. But matter doesn't matter for a reason, because you control the matter, because it is you and you are it. And sort of like when we love our reality, may not always love the people, but you can love what you bring around yourself. Like this thing, I may travel cross country soon, and I will do some updates on that because it'll be a fun little adventure. I hope we do it, because we were going to do a road trip. I'm going to take this with me. And if I like do a video or something, I'm going to have this like over my shoulders, like somewhere, some fucking random place, because I love this, because this reminds me of who I am. So yeah, that's just that aspect, that frequency, to where you bring sort of the things around you that remind you of you, and you put that love into your reality. Yeah, that would be lit. We'll see what happens. I'm really excited about it. So number 4, the number 4. So we have we went into 2, now we have 3. Okay, 3 is the voice. So now we went from the thought, now we're creating a frequency, maybe even beginning of a hum. You see a hum? So now I'm just playing with it because I do shit like that. I like to feel the nuances of things and how it feels in my body. So hold on, I gotta make this bigger. Hi, Desmond. So then you have number 3, or the what we believe would be the third dimension, and that is the voice. And the voice, the affirmation, is actually what will begin to create your reality, because now you're putting something out and you're creating a physical frequency or vibration. How amazing it is to even be able to speak. And we take it for granted. We take our speech for granted almost as much as we take the people who we really love for granted. To speak, the animals can't speak, they just exist. They can do these other steps, but they can't have an utterance, right? But you can actually speak things into reality. You created a verbal code. The animals can communicate, but I don't think they're concerned about speaking things into their reality because they're so satisfied, though. There's a lot you can learn from animals. I think I'm starting to like them more than people these days, which is weird. And it isn't the actual people that I don't like. It's the, how can I explain it? It's the energy that they have upon them. So I love souls, but there's so much around the soul, even energetically, that tries to keep it from its greatest expression. And I encourage you to let your soul be free, or be liberated. Um, so really the physical is represented by the number 4. And I'm only gonna go that far. If you guys want the rest of this, you gotta take the master class. There's a lot more that goes into this. So we're gonna stop there. So the 4 is the body or structure. So that's really when you begin to lay the foundations. And the physical, the foundation connects the mind, body, and spirit with the physical reality. So that's also the connection. You can even, if you want to even get more nuanced, you can be like, oh, actually, we're in the 5th dimension, because then it gets even more deep, which represents the human or humanity. But really the foundation of the physical reality, when we look at it from more of a metaphysical perspective, and when we start to break down, like, what the fuck are all these dimensions? Nobody knows what they're talking about, because everyone's just using buzzwords and nobody's actually going and looking up simple numerology and listening to their soul. Because some of this stuff that I'm telling you, I looked it up because I like to get facts. But at the same time, I'll read the frequency based on just dealing with my higher self, because I've been meditating for 10 years. So it's like I call it. It took so much work, but I just kept knowing that there was like something more, something else that I had to get to. There was something deeper that was within myself that I needed to know what it was. It was fucking like a crazy obsession to know myself. So I'm now able to just tap in instantly. That took 10 years. Nowadays, it'll probably be a lot shorter. And as long as you stay super focused, you could do that shit in a couple months, for real. It only took me that long because I was just at odds with my life. I had to get so much shit out of the way. Also, too, imagine if we teach children this. Kids, imagine if you knew how to manifest correctly from when you were a little kid, how different your life would be. If you were like, okay, 0 is the void. Okay, 1 is the thought. 2 is the energy in the thought, or the frequency and vibration, and that starts to come out. 3 is the voice. 4 is physical manifestation. And then you teach them that the synchronicities in their reality will start to show them that we don't even trust the synchronicities in our reality. We're like, oh, that's cool. Well, what the fuck was the message? That's something to think about. What was the message? What it's not, the synchronicities are not there for no reason or just to be like, oh, that's cool. No, the synchronicities are there to give you a message, but you just won't listen. You just want to, I fucking hate when people do this. You want to treat this shit 333. The number 3 is the voice, the expression, the trine, a new point of view, the stronghold, right before physical form. We do things in 3 so they will manifest in our physical realm. So you need to get into your manifestation bag. That's what that is. Like, get into your manifestation bag, and you have the ability to manifest very strongly right now. That's what that would mean, essentially. Especially if you're seeing it 3 times. And 333 is what? A 9. Like your girl, a 9. I call myself Empress 9 for a reason. This shit isn't for no fucking reason. And it was not me that chose the 9. I actually had a vision. And I'm not going to get into the details because that shit was just for me. But it came to me in a vision. And so I had to jump into that frequency. And I was like, all right, this is my throne right now. So this is where I need to be sitting. And I worked for it. And when the divine gives you gifts, take the gifts. They're for you for a reason, even in the astral realm, even in your visions and your dreams. Take the gifts. I encourage you to take the gifts. So yeah. Does anyone have any questions before I get out of here? I think this video, and 3 also represents the Vesica Pisces and Triple Goddess. There's some things I'm not gonna say that are pretty interesting about the Vesica Pisces. And about the man and the woman. So yeah, like, if we knew how to manifest from when we were children correctly, we wouldn't feel as adults or as young people or whatever, so out of alignment with our lives. When we're taught how to manifest correctly, when we're taught the frequency and vibrations of numbers, when we're taught what the dimensions really are. Because I would view the dimensional reality on this plane, because I really think a universe or a galaxy is like a plane. I would view it as a swirl, just as everything swirls. Everything has that Fibonacci sequence is literally everywhere. So I would view it that way. And so you can tap into multiple frequencies at the same time and multiple dimensions, because nobody knows what the fuck they're talking about for real. They act like something's changed. This shit has always been here. Nothing has changed. 0 through 9 are available right now. 0 through 9 are available. I feel like that was a commercial. Are available right now to you. They've always been available. The earth has always had the ability to have all of them happening at the same time. So it's just ridiculous at this point. Like, nobody knows what the fuck they're talking about. So I got on YouTube and made a video about this because people are fucking retarded. And like, nobody does the research or the follow-up. Nobody even checks within themselves. Because I knew. Now you can tell when there's a global shift, or it might not even be a global shift. It literally could be just a shift that happened in your reality. You wake up one day and you just know that things are different and they'll never be the same again. You only know really it's global when everyone on the planet or a lot of people, but then like, is it really? Because you could just be in that frequency. So now you're finding all the people who are experiencing the same reality as you. And unless you survey everyone on the planet, you really can't know. So nobody's fucking special. What it is that there's multiple dimensions that you can tap into at any time, depending on where you are. And like, I could decide that I want to think about duality today. So I'm in the second dimension all day. I'm just going to think about the nature of duality. It's not my natural state to actually think about duality. Unless I can think about how I can take duality and turn it into unity. That is actually my natural state. It's to think about duality in a way that I can actually turn it in to unity. I've always been like that since I was a kid, from as far back as I can remember. I don't remember a time that I wasn't, even when I was Christian, and I was Christian of my own accord, but I was a little different because I really still had my own way of thinking. It was just another stop on the path. I was still meditating too. Polarity is only spirit or source, soul, wanting to see itself. That's all it is. So, or wanting to create contrast or conflict so that it can see itself. Just how you have angels and demons, just how you have a protagonist and an antagonist in every story, just have you have the hero, and then either the hero would be the protagonist, and then the antagonist could be the situation. It could be the another individual, an enemy or whatever. But it's just a cosmic drama. And you'll start to recognize too that in your life is a cosmic drama. Especially when you start reading the mythologies and you're like, whoa, who do you think the mythologies were based on? They're based on you. Duh. That's why they resonate with people. If they were based on something that we didn't fucking understand, we wouldn't give a fuck about them. Because why do you care about something that is not you? Why would you care about something that is not you? There's nothing else. Damn. I gotta get into my master class actually right now. One of my students is hitting me up. All right, y'all. I'm gonna cut this off, but thank you so much. I love you all. We'll talk soon.